Before I begin, I just want to tell y'all that this isn't a creepypasta. This isn't just a scary story. This really happened to me whenever I had my first apartment with my now ex-wife when she was just my girlfriend and our two other roommates. Picture us being young and about 19 years old, ready to have our own place and our own slice of independence. We just moved into our apartment in a kind of old and run-down complex with no recent renovations, and we were also on the third floor. Moving there was a real pain, especially since we didn't have any money for movers. So that third floor really got to us fairly quick. A few months went by really smooth. Our bills were kind of rocky, but that was only because we were young and figuring things out. Shortly after we saw Insidious, whenever it was brand new in theaters, all of us as a group, everybody under our roof, we went together as a family almost to go see this movie. And about a week has passed, and we had a very deep spiritual conversation with our roommates. They were a young male gay couple, and one of which was a very close friend of me and my now ex-wife's. His boyfriend, his fiance rather, they had a secret that we did not know of. Me, my ex-wife, and then that couple in our bedroom. I was laying on my stomach on our bed while the mutual friend of me and my ex was slowly hovering his hand up and down my body in different areas, I guess to read my energy or whatever he was doing. I'm not too sure. But as he was doing that, his fiance had his back to our bedroom door, which was open, leading into the living room. My ex was facing him. Nobody was talking this entire time. Not one word was said to anyone. It was quiet, dead silence. And there were certain areas where our mutual friend's hand was over my body that felt much, much more heat than the rest of the places. And as he was doing that, I felt something was with us there. Just that feeling. It's indescribable, but most people who have experienced something similar know exactly what I mean. It's slightly uncomfortable, but somewhat tolerable, and gives you that small sense of curiosity. I felt that it was a hooded figure standing in our open doorway. But I didn't say anything, because I was too much at peace to let anything bother me in that particular moment. Turns out, the fiance, he was sketching in his sketchbook this entire time, while my ex was in front of him doing something else. I'm not too sure what, but it doesn't really hold any relevance to this story. So whenever our mutual friend was finished with me and him both stood up, and he said, "By the way, did anyone sense that hooded figure in the doorway?" All the hairs on my neck and arms stood straight up, because that is exactly what I sensed was there. His fiance said, "Do you mean like this?" He turns his sketchbook around, only to see me sketched out, and all of the places that I felt intense heat from when his hand hovered over me in the certain places, he had drawn black vapor coming up from those points. And behind me was sketched a big, dark, hooded figure. My ex also said, I felt it was there too, and I think I saw it. Mind you, none of this was pre-communicated. There was only silence in that room, all the way up until our mutual friend said, did anyone else sense this? And there were a few other moments that we had in that apartment with the same figure involved. Sometimes it would just be in fleeting moments where the couple would leave their bedroom door open and I would be in the living room and I would stop and stare straight into their open dark bedroom because I knew it was in there watching me. And I wasn't too afraid. I, of course, had some amount of fear because it was unknown and it's not something you can exactly see. It's not something you could see pure as day. It's something you see by some other means that is really difficult to explain. There was one time our friend was over, and this was after we learned the fiancé's secret. He was of Filipino descent, and he had some members of his family going way back into his lineage that messed around with the wrong things, and basically his family had a curse on him, which of course sounds pretty far-fetched, but maybe some things are just extrapolated when there is even still just a little bit of truth to it. One night we had a friend over, and we knew this thing might be here to stay unless we do something about it. But whatever, we'll deal with it for now. And that night, I had fell asleep first. Then I woke up suddenly to my friend and my ex, who were still watching television. And I had this sickest feeling in my stomach. It was very quick and very intense. Out of nowhere. My friend goes, "Are you okay, man?" And he was like, he kept looking over towards this painting that belonged to the fiancé. And he was like, "There's something standing over there." And I turned and I ran to the light switch for the living room, flipped it on. I turn around to look at my ex-wife and one of my closest friends looking at me in horror because they know I never get afraid or frantic or panic. But they saw a ghostly white face on me. I was very pale, felt very ill, and I was scared out of my mind. I felt a heaviness and that I needed to get out of there immediately. I was in my boxers. That's it. And I looked at them and I said, "We're leaving right now." And as we grabbed a few things, I didn't even change. I went out in my boxers. I went outside in my boxers, not caring whatsoever. And then I just continued to deal with it. And then the next day, I felt better. We went back with my ex's mother, and we anointed the house with special oils. And that was the last I recall ever dealing with that particular entity. It was very, very strange and very new to me. You can believe this to be true or false if you like. It doesn't matter to me. I know that it's true, and that's all I need. I experienced it. I don't need any validation from anybody. This happened. This really happened. If you guys liked this story, go ahead and subscribe to our channel. Give us a like. Give us a like on our Facebook page. Links are down below. Give us a comment. Tell us what you thought about this story. This story is very important to me in my life, and I plan on telling it for many years to come. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening, and everyone, I will see y'all later.